we're back with our weekly cosmic forecast. I'm Kaerhart, numerologist and astrologer, and this is my best friend, Sophie Wan.
Astrologer and celestial guide.
And
we both are.
And we're talking about August 5th through August 11th. I had to peek at my notes so I know the week that we're on. So this is an exciting one because we're in a numerological week 5. And 5 is the number of change and adaptability. It's all about freedom. So this week is a really good time to get in touch with what freedom means to you. So freedom is quite relative, right? To some people, freedom is backpacking through Europe, and to other people, freedom is having that white picket fence life. So this week, you're going to be tested with where you feel boxed in or constrained in your life, and how can you feel free? Like, when do you feel the most alive and the most free? This is also a week of change. I always joke that when you're in the energy of a 5, it's kind of like you're a plastic bag floating in the wind. Cue the Katy Perry song. So it's very much that energy of like, you really don't know what's going to happen. And every time I'm in a week 5, month 5, year 5 especially, there are just always unexpected changes that come up.
But you like the 5.
I love
all
it.
about the 5.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I like the expect the unexpected because you're like, ooh, anything could be around the corner. Like my book deal was totally unexpected and happened in my 5.
God, I didn't realize I was in the 5.
Yeah, and I wasn't trying to be an author, right?
Yeah.
So again, like this is very much that energy. So expect a curveball or two this week. And also don't be too married to things. Because again, the 5 is all about teaching you how to be adaptable. So this is not a week to hold on too tightly to plans or, oh, I have to do something in this exact way.
Yeah.
It's really a time to test being more flexible. Right? So seek out adventure, seek out new opportunities, embrace change, stay flexible, and go on an adventure or two. The 5 is also the number of travel. So plan a vacation, take a road trip, go on a weekend getaway with your boyfriend.
Or be open for those changes in whatever you might have planned.
Exactly.
That's a little precursor to what's happening astrologically.
Yeah. And I don't know what's happening astrologically yet, Ashleisha. But Sophie is about to break it down. But again, I love, hearing the astrology. Ashleisha, are you with us? Comment in the section below, please. Let us know how last week was for you. So yeah, that's the 5.
Okay. So I'm like sitting here listening to all this 5 energy, and I just want us to brace ourselves because last week we talked about Mercury Retrograde shadow period.
Oh my God, I forgot.
And the time has come for us to enter into Mercury Retrograde. So buckle up, Buttercup.
I don't like buckling up though.
Please buckle up.
Okay. Please be safe.
So we have Mercury Retrograde that starts technically August 4th for some people, but really I say August 5th. So it really starts August 5th all the way until August 28th. And so it's a nice long period. This is the week that kicks off that energy. Mercury is a planet of communication, change.
And travel.
Travel.
Ooh, just like the 5. Yeah.
It's the planet of logistics, technology. So anything to have to do with like communication, logistics, planning, is going to be open for changes, right? And so this marries really well with that 5 energy of what you were talking about. And like
it always
the
does.
whole like being a plastic bag in the wind, just floating, kind of just doing your own thing. And so with Mercury retrograde, I always say it's best to like go with the flow. Retrograde actually means backwards. So Mercury looks like it's moving backwards, but it's actually not. Yeah, it's just an illusion. And so it's really a time for you to actually review, rewind, reflect, reassess. And so you might have to literally make like these adjustments to plans that you made previously. I also like to warn people not to sign any kind of major contracts or do any kind of major concrete like planning.
Please don't get back with your ex.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because
you said concrete planning. I was like, Ashleisha, please don't.
So I also want to note that we have a very specific date where I think your ex might come back at you. Okay.
Me?
Or people, specifically you. That's right.
No. Okay.
Didn't you actually have exes come back like
Yeah,
during
literally.
the shadow? So
Yeah,
I mean, that's
no,
what I think is really interesting.
the last week it's been pretty intense. And I
Yeah.
asked you, I was like, why this week?
Yeah. And I
Like,
was
I'm
like,
not doing
Mercury
anything
retrograde
differently.
shadow. So the
Yeah.
specific date, before I like go off on a tangent, is going to be Wednesday, August 7th. And so
Okay.
Mercury, this retrograde Mercury, is going to be conjunct Venus, which is the planet of love, relationships, money. You always like to remind me.
Yes, it's
And
money
so
too.
I'm really curious, guys, like if you have an ex that hits you up this Wednesday, August 7th, I want to know because
Me too.
this is the kind of aspect where it's like, oh, someone from the past is supposed to hit you up. And so, because like I said, Venus represents relationships. So
Yeah.
it doesn't even really have to be a former love interest. It could be just someone from the past. So if that happens to you, please let us know. I love extra data points.
Yeah.
Right?
And also, please don't get back with your ex during this Mercury retrograde. It's probably not going to go well. Just wait till after.
Yeah.
Like, if you have to have that conversation, then have that conversation. But
yeah. And it's interesting because like a lot of people kind of take an ex coming back into their life as like, maybe this was like the one that got away, or maybe there's something more here. And I'm like, it's not. And
yeah, don't be delulu during
especially
Mercury retrograde.
especially, if this person comes back during the retrograde, that's like, if anything, a bigger indication that you're not supposed to get back together with this person versus like, I don't know if they come back through like in a different time period. But I really say that this is like a time for you to maybe review some of the learnings or some of the things that like, I don't know, maybe this is a test that happens too.
Reassess.
Yes.
Review. Rethink.
That's, but not in a getting back together way.
Don't get back together,
And,
Ashleisha. We've warned you.
I've even seen, Ashleisha's probably like, wow, this Kaerhart really loves me.
Ashleisha never commented last week, but I know you're out there, girl. I know you're watching.
So, it's going to be really interesting to kind of see all of what comes down, especially on this Wednesday.
I'm scared.
You should be.
I'm scared.
You should.
Don't help me. I'm scared.
So yeah, I mean, those are like really the major aspects of what's coming down. And I just think it's really important to remember that like, hey, this isn't the universe prompting you to get back together with your ex unless you want to ruin your life. And that's cool.
Well, that's intense,
cool.
but you're an extreme lady. Listen, you're not going to ruin your life. No decision is, you can change at any time. It is the week 5.
Yeah.
But just really think on things. Be a little more cautious with the exes on Wednesday.
Yes.
That's our advice.
Yes. And do let us know if you have people come back.
Yeah.
I'm
Tell us in
going
the
to be
comment
like,
section.
I'm going to be just sweating it because I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen for us? I mean, I already know people are crawling back to you. I'm going to be in my silent meditation.
Yeah.
If you try to come back to me, I'm going to be off grid.
Yeah, exactly. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
So that's our week ahead.
Yes. And for those of you who have not subscribed to Kaerhart's channel, please subscribe.
We're releasing these every single week. Numerology and astrology, letting you know what's going on in the cosmos.
Yes.
And
till next week.
See you next week.